They say history repeats itself, but have we really learned anything? Anne Frank's diary isn't just an old book collecting dust in a museum. It's a warning, a lesson, and a glimpse into the mind of a young girl, trapped in a world that had lost its humanity. But here's the real question. Are we actually paying attention to what she tried to tell us? Anne Frank's words have echoed across generations, her diary becoming one of the most famous accounts of life during the Holocaust. But this isn't just about history. Her thoughts, emotions, and struggles still resonate today. Prejudice, war, and oppression haven't disappeared, they've just changed form. So what can we truly learn from Anne Frank's diary? And more importantly, what are we still ignoring? Anne's diary gives us an intimate look at what it means to remain hopeful in the darkest of times. But in a world still plagued by hatred and division, have we actually taken her words to heart? Today, discrimination, racism, and the struggles of refugees mirror the past in chilling ways. The same fears, the same injustices, just new faces and new places. If Anne Frank could see the world today, what would she think? Anne's story isn't just a historical artifact, it's a personal, raw, and brutally honest account of what it's like to be stripped of basic human rights. Her words hit differently when you realize that so many people today, whether in war zones, refugee camps, or under oppressive regimes, are facing similar struggles. The diary gives us more than just an account of Anne's life. It gives us a lens through which we can examine modern society and our own role in it. Even while hiding in a cramped annex, Anne held on to hope. She dreamed of becoming a writer, of experiencing freedom. Despite her suffering, she never stopped believing in the goodness of people. Her diary teaches us that even in the worst circumstances, the human spirit can survive. But hope alone wasn't enough to save her. Today, hope continues to be a driving force for millions facing persecution, displacement, and violence. Refugees fleeing war-torn nations, minorities fighting for equal rights, and individuals standing up against tyranny, all embody the resilience that Anne once showed. But as history has proven, hope must be accompanied by action, awareness, and global responsibility. The Holocaust didn't happen overnight. It started with small acts of discrimination, with laws that singled out certain groups, with people looking the other way. Today, we see similar patterns: hate crimes on the rise, propaganda dividing people, and marginalized groups being blamed for society's problems. Holocaust denial, anti-Semitism, and the scapegoating of entire communities are still problems that persist worldwide. Anne's diary forces us to ask, are we allowing history to repeat itself? Have we done enough to prevent another atrocity? Learning history isn't just about memorizing dates, it's about understanding patterns, recognizing warning signs, and making sure we don't fall into the same dangerous cycles. Anne was just a teenage girl, no different from millions of young people today. She had crushes, dreams, and insecurities. But because of her religion, she was forced into hiding and eventually murdered. Her story is a powerful reminder that behind every conflict, every political debate are real people with real lives. Are we doing enough to see others as human beings instead of statistics? Today, the media often reduces tragedies to numbers: casualty counts, displacement figures, economic impacts. But behind every number is a story, just like Anne's. The challenge we face is to resist indifference and make an effort to understand those who suffer from injustice. Whether it's extending kindness to a stranger, standing up against discrimination, or simply choosing to listen, every small act of empathy matters. Anne's diary ends abruptly. We know what happens next. Her capture, her suffering in concentration camps, her death just weeks before liberation. Her voice was silenced, but her words still speak. The real tragedy? Even after everything, humanity still struggles with the same issues. Prejudice still exists. War still rages. People are still forced to flee their homes. The echoes of Anne's experience still ring loudly in the lives of those affected by conflict, oppression, and discrimination today. So what can we learn from Anne Frank's diary today? More than anything, it teaches us to recognize warning signs, to speak up against injustice, and to never take freedom for granted. Anne's story is not just history, it's a mirror. The question is, do we dare to look into it? And if we do, are we prepared to act on what we see? If Anne Frank's words still matter, then we have to prove it. Subscribe for more stories that challenge the way we see history and ourselves.